Welcome again, everyone. Jerry's Old Guy Review, and let it never be said that I don't listen to the people. So this video today is for Casitas crawlers, who has been pressuring me a bit to get the new FMS Blazer, so I'm returning the favor so he can get his old friend and one of my, I know I say this on occasion, one of my favorite rigs. Well, I'm going to tell you that the Redcat version 8, or actually the Gen 8 version 2, is one of my favorite rigs. This was the milestone. This is where Redcat came out with all the bashing going on for Redcat products from China. This was completely American designed, and the support from Redcat, I'm going to tell you, this is actually, I'm down to just the, nope, what do I got? 3 Redcats? I have got the Gen 7, I've got the Marksman, and I have this. And you know what? This came out as the version 1, and it got a lot of bad mouthing. It had this problem, it had that problem, this was breaking, that was breaking. And what I still consider unheard of in the RC business, they went back to the drawing board and they revised all the parts that were being claimed were being broken. Obviously, there was not just claims, there had to have been backing up. So they re-released it as the version 2 with all the revisions. And wow, what RC company in this world we live in right now, oh, thanks, Sophie, can we say any of the other names, the big names, took their customers' complaints to heart, turned around and fixed them all, and then re-released the truck? I heard through the grapevine, I don't know anyone personally, so let's just call this allegedly, that version 1 people were contacted and given the option to get the upgraded parts. You know, just, that's my, we say allegedly because we don't want to point fingers in case they really didn't do that. But still, completely pulling a vehicle and then re-releasing it a few months later with the new parts on it. Where have you heard that before? So, Casitas crawlers, let's just get her out there. You know, this truck still, it's big for its size. It is top heavy, which, you know, you could get brass and you could, you know, deck that lower axle out and all the portal housings. But you know what? I know it's top heavy. I know that that is an issue which would be the same as a real vehicle. So what's the only thing I've done to this? So I detailed it. I put a Scale by Chris rack on top. Let's put some more, you know, heavy stuff. I lowered the shocks so they are as low as they can get, keeping that high center of gravity, trying to keep the weight lower. And what else did we do? Oh, of course, we got my Trick RC light kit in it because, Redcat gives you a nice lower, or a nice, you know, bumper. But hey, let's go with Scale. We are using the original truck's electronics, so the headlights are that nice soft color. But meanwhile, the taillights, let's see that. Are the taillights soft too? Let's see how soft they are. Yeah, they're softer when you compare the rear taillights, the bumper taillights. But this truck, you know, I will admit, like a lot of other people, Audrey, Get out of there. You're being horrible. You know, a lot of people, the tires, those Indico Super Swampers, they're just not a crawler tire. So this has got some J Concepts landmines, which in my opinion are pretty decent tires. You know, I'll put them up against the Hyrax any day, and they work good on this truck. This truck is big and wide, and it is a pleasant truck. I mean, look at that. That was one of the easiest go-overs. Let's see how well I can see back behind here. Let's move the camera a little bit. Let's see if she'll go up, because if you watch my video on the FMS Axial, or the Atlas versus the TRX4, this is the day after the storm, so everything's wet. So let's see what this wet wood's going to be like. Right over and down. Didn't even spin with the old landmines on it. Now, I will tell you, if you don't have a Redcat, oh, here we are. I'm doing the same crap again. So if you don't have a Redcat, the shocks on the Redcat. So this truck, all this truck ever does is bounce around. And Audrey, I swear, you are horrible lately. With the new filming, she has room to wander. She thinks she's away from things, and she's horrible. So, with the shocks, all this does is articulate everywhere it is. And these shocks, RTR shocks, didn't do anything to them. I didn't take them off. Let's move this a little bit. I didn't take them off, didn't do anything with them. They weep. Compared to some of the other manufacturers that have trucks that are way more expensive, that after a few drives, they are already just leaking. These shocks have wept. There's a little bit of residue on the axles, but not enough that I feel that I've had to pull them off and check them, because they are keeping the truck up in all four corners. I don't see any obvious places where they have leaked to the point where I don't have any rebound. This has been almost an effortless truck for me. And that's why I say it's one of my favorites. Ones that I don't have to spend a ton of time on doing maintenance, other than, you know, the ease of where this has the diff covers on it. And I can just pull the covers off. I can check the diff fluid. And that, to me, gets me out on the trail crawling sooner. Gets Audrey, who just keeps running in front of the camera. And I've had this truck for quite a while now. I think it was right when the V2s came out. I had to get one. But even with the springs compressed really low, I mean, for a top-heavy truck, that just went very nicely. Oh, and I have to kill a mosquito, sorry. And actually, let's go back over here and try the new part. As you can see with the lock diffs, it definitely, when you're steering, it definitely sags down on whatever side you're steering toward. But, you know, that's no big thing for me because it's not doing it at slow speed while I'm crawling. Now let's see. Now we're coming up to, this is relatively the easy tippy parts, but this, as soon as the diff hangs up, this is when we're getting quite, oosh, and there it is. Yeah, still top heavy. Top heavy because of the body, top heavy with the portals. Oh, jeez. That mud is sticky. Oh. And there it was. That was one of the bits that people talk about the Velcro, the cover. I mean, this thing was just stuck in the mud and I just reefed on it and then the Velcro came off. I really like the Velcro body. And if you want to zoom in on it, we were going to have a comment about, or we were going to have a discussion about figures in a vehicle. And if you want to zoom in, oh, I think he's taking a beating at this point. So if you want to zoom in on it, and we'll see if anyone in the comments can say what driver was in this. He's just basically straddling the battery. But I'll tell you right there, this is going to be a truck that would be a good comparo with some of the Vanquish trucks out here. Because right now he had mud-covered wheels. He's fighting a bit. We were swinging that over there in case there's something dramatic happens. And that other tire has dropped into, there's a bit of a hole over there. And I can't quite tell. Let's back her up. Oh, she is stuck. Can it back out of it? Oy. That's another. The way this obstacle is, you can't go dead straight up it. You have to kind of go over to the left or over to the right, and you kind of can skirt it a bit. If not, there's parts to hang you up, because I didn't want this to be easy. You know, the problem with filming on a camera is that it doesn't make the obstacles look as impressive as they may or may not be. That's where watching them drive is a good indicator. Now this backside is horrible. Yep, there we go. On our side. Okay, I just flipped it over. It didn't even bother trying to do it again. But, Audrey, was this going to be every time? So, I missed our first crawler competition this year, but the next one we have, you know, nobody's really running Redcats out there, and there's a lot of the same kind of vehicles. So that's what I want to do, and I want to actually get it right. You know, the last time I was too busy trying to drive and basically screwed up the filming part of it. But this, I think, would be a good representation. You know, our crawling is not it's not really competitive. It's It's more of a family affair. And, you know, we just bring the kids, bring the wives, come out, drive the trucks. The area we have, they spend a lot of time working on it. But this is the perfect truck. This is the kind of truck you can give to somebody who's never driven one before. Well, there we go. That is a wet birch log. Oh, the baby kids were doing something in the background. These landmines on this truck, I think, were the perfect pairing. So there you go, Casita. I hope I got you wanting to take your boy out again. Because I've thought numerous times of getting a different body for this truck. And I was just like, why would I bother? I kept the stock wheels. What did I put on that, though? Oh, it came with those 4x4 stickers. So, I mean, they've got realistic for the time period. You know, for the price and what this truck does. Throw some different tires on it. Change the oil in the shocks if you want to. If you want to try to battle. If you want to try to battle the top heaviness, which, unless you spend a bunch of money. Oh man, the driver, he looks unconscious. Unless you want to spend a ton of money putting brass down low, you don't need it. This truck right here, slam the suspension down low. Get some decent tires. I will use that phrase, decent tire. Ooh, it's digging a hole. And this truck will surprise you. Even if you're diehard, see, this is the best way to test a truck out. Wet, muddy, the wheels. That's a good way to test a tire too. You've got wet, muddy tires, and you're going over smooth obstacles. Will it slide right back in the hole? But now look at that articulation. Look at that rear wheel just sucked up in there. And for what you get with this truck, with the fender flares, and, you know, don't have to do a ton of cleaning on it. Oh, there we go. You change your line, and suddenly, oh, just like you would do with a full size. You know, that's all this truck needs is some different tires, a little suspension tuning, and it is fabulous. So, Casita, I hope that gets you right out to dust your puppy off and get it out on the road. For the rest of you, let me know if I'm off my rocker with the Redcat Gen 8 or not. Do you have the Gen 9? Do you have the Gen 8 and the Gen 9? And what really are the differences? I'd love to get another international body. Oh, and then I have two trucks that were out of scale with everything. Just like when I brought up in my Gelande 2 video that these are similar scales. Nope. I redid some measuring. This is still bigger, which makes this closer to a 1/7 scale than even the Gelande. I thought the Gelande, I misspoke in there. It is more of a 1/8 scale, in my opinion. It's not as long as it should be. It's taller than it should be. So, there is the issue that. So, this is actually still bigger. It is a lot longer. But, I love this truck. This is right here. I charged the battery, pulled it off the shelf, came out here, and just drove it. It's got those. If somebody says it's got it's got a loud transmission, it has all Mod 1 gears in it. So that's another plus for the price point. Mod 1 gears are a lot beefier and stouter than your standard gears. And usually you have to upgrade a truck to that. This comes with them. So let's talk about the sweet Gen 8 that I just high centered. Look at that. That's awkward. It's mounted. It's all mounted up on the piece of wood. I feel like I should turn my eyes away. So there we go. Let's talk about the Gen 8 in the comments, and I will talk to you on the next one.